Bandi, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Sangam India Limited Management Call. We have on the call Mr. Anurag Soni, Managing Director, and Mr. S.N. Modani, Vice Chairman of Sangam India Limited. I must remind you that the discussion of today's call may include certain forward-looking statements and must therefore be in conjunction with the risks that the company faces. May I now request Mr. Anurag Soni to take us through the company's business and performance, and Mr. S.N. Modani through the outlook, after which we will open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on Sangam India Limited Management Meet. As this is our first interaction, we would like to discuss the journey, followed by strategic updates and performance highlights. Our investor presentation has been uploaded on this exchange, and we hope you have had the opportunity to review it. Sangam India Limited personifies India's growth journey with a rich history spanning 4 decades, marked by expertise and a commitment to excellence. As global leaders in PV dyed yarn and prominent players in the denim sector, we have maintained a leadership position by consistently delivering high-quality products. Our workforce comprises over 12,000 skilled employees, has been our true assets, and has been instrumental in our success. This dedicated team has helped us secure significant market share in the textile sector, serving marquee clientele. Our growth story reflects not only our ability to meet market demands, but also our commitment to operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. Today, we operate as an integrated textile player, spanning across the entire textile value chain, operating 5 manufacturing plants in Rajasthan. We export to over 60 countries globally, specializing in PV yarn, PV fabric, and denim fabrics. We are one of the most diversified textile producers in the country with integrated in-house facilities. This high level of integrations help us to be highly cost competitive over our peers. Over the last 6 years, Sangam India Limited has transformed into a value-added textile player, marked by a strategic shift towards high value-added products. This transition has propelled margin expansion, reflecting a dedication to enhancing profitability. Our EBITDA has doubled during this period, while EBITDA margins have improved from 8% to 11%. Value additions and improved operational efficiency and cost management have played a role here. I would now like to hand over the mic to our Vice Chairman, Mr. S.N. Modani.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Our company stands at the forefront of innovation and excellence in the textile industry, maintaining our position and price leader. Today, we have 300,000 spindles with us, and with 2,500 rotors for open end yarn. And we possess a formidable production capacity of more than 1 lakh tons per annum. The expensive capability allows us to meet the diverse needs of our clientele with maintaining stringent quality standards. The garment division has seen remarkable growth, with revenue surging 4.4 times over the past 6 years, now contributing 3% of SIL's revenue, with a manufacturing capacity of 114 state-of-the-art machine seamless garment knitting machines from San Antonio, Italy. We are equipped to meet diverse demands. We use cutting-edge machinery for our operations, which are sourced from, as I said, the world leader in the seamless garments, San Antonio, Italy. 90% contribution comes domestically, whereas 10% is from exports. On the denim front, revenue increased 2.2x in the past 6 years. The Sangam brand is well placed in the domestic market. Internationally, we collaborate with the leading brands. Leveraging our expertise and state-of-the-art facilities to meet their exacting standards, our dedication to quality, underscored by the state-of-the-art lab setup, ensuring stringent quality controls throughout the manufacturing process, with a production capacity of 48 million meters per annum, supported by 5 indigo processing lines and 302 weaving machines. We are equipped to meet demands of our customers efficiently and effectively. Lastly, We have gained significant market share in synthetic fabric. Our company holds a prominent position in the fabric processing industry, specializing in a range of fabrics. Our capex plan is of 792 crores to fuel our future growth. This strategic move has allowed us to develop a diversified and resilient business model, supported by a strong presence throughout the value chain. By maintaining a varied revenue base and competitive pricing strategy alongside our backward integrated approach, we have effectively mitigated risk associated with market fluctuations. Our capex is supported by long-term debt, and we are currently in a comfortable position in terms of debt repayments. Our debt repayments are funded internally through accruals, a testament to our strong financial stability. I would now like to hand over the mic to Anurag Soni to discuss the performance highlights. Thank you.
Coming to the financial performance for the last quarter ended December 24, our revenue from operations was at 621 crores, which was a slight increase year on year of about 3%, and EBITDA levels were at 48 crores with a margin percentage of 8%. There was a decline of 18% year on year on the EBITDA front. Now, looking forward to the next couple of years, our focus is on advancing up the value chain into fabric and garment production. We are undertaking significant capex plans to cater to the emerging opportunities in these segments. We're targeting a top line of about 4,000 crores while ensuring EBITDA margins remain steady at about 12.5%. Our strategic agenda includes maximizing return on equity and leveraging capital expenditure to sustain long-term growth. Additionally, we are poised to enhance margins by offering value-added products. With this, I would like to conclude my opening remarks. We can now open the floor for questions.
Participants, please raise your hands and form a queue for the questions. Yes, Mr. Sake, you may go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, namaskar, sir. And sir, firstly, thank you for this opportunity and for detailing and a very detailed presentation also. Sir, firstly, sir, अगर आप थोड़ा भी इंडस्ट्री का आउटलुक फर्स्टली बताते हैं कि क्योंकि सर जो लास्ट क्वार्टर के नंबर्स हैं उनमें मार्जिन्स काफी कंप्रेस्ड है हमारे, और वी हैव आउटलाइंड अ लार्ज कैपेक्स आल्सो, जो आप FY26 के लिए जो आपने आउटलाइन किया है, वो कैपेक्स में अभी हम कहाँ पर हैं, कितना हमने स्पेंड कर लिया है, और करंट बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट कितना कंड्यूसिव है इस कैपेक्स को सप्लीमेंट करने के लिए, अगर इस पे सर आप कुछ पहले उल्लेख करते हैं.
Thank you, Saketji. So I will answer the question with regards to the आज का मार्केट सिनेरियो और हमारा कैपेक्स कब तक हो रहा है. तो हमारा कैपेक्स अभी करीबन जो 800 करोड़ का आउटलाइन है, ये स्टार्टिंग 2 क्वार्टर्स फ्रॉम नाउ एंड उसके बाद मतलब Q1 FY25 तक हमारा सारा कैपेक्स कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. हमारा कैपेक्स सारा इंटेंडेड है टुवर्ड्स वन कॉस्ट रिडक्शन जो मार्जिन्स को हेल्प करेगा, और दूसरा ग्रोथ in the segments where we want to add value, basically fabrics and garments. So if we see our turnovers from yarn are consistently coming down quarter on quarter, and we expect कि next after completing all these capex, we will be able to generate about 2/3 of our revenue from the fabric and garment division, and about 1/3 will remain from yarn. So that will add to the margins. Now, secondly, with regards to the industry scenario, so there has been pressure over the last 6 to 8 quarters. There has been continuous downfall in pricing. In fact, as we stand today, we are probably at the bottom of the pricing levels over the last 6 to 8 quarters. ये majorly impacted था due to export markets because there was a crackdown on inflation by most governments. So commodity prices were constantly crashing. Cotton prices have halved from the peak. So now we see that things are improving. Prices have bottomed out. In fact, probably in the current quarter also, we should see some kind of improvements coming in, and every quarter we should see some kind of support from the market. तो उससे थोड़ा margins में support आना चाहिए. So industry outlook तो अभी यही है कि prices have most likely bottomed out and we should see some improvements, and also already there is some demand that has started to come in from the export markets as well. तो वो थोड़ा इसको help करेगा sustain करने में.
Sir, currently अभी हमारा utilization levels क्या है across for both yarn and the fabric segment? And sir, as you mentioned that we are planning and we envisage going ahead our yarn proportion to be 1/3 and 2/3 to be fabric. That is what you mentioned, sir.
Right.
Post the expansion.
Right.
Okay. And sir, in the fabric segment, it will be B2C business we will be doing, or what is?
See, fabric segment का ऐसा है कि कुछ तो B2C थोड़ा बहुत होगा, but इसमें there is a lot of so two customers that are coming in are basically garment manufacturers and also brands who nominate garmenters. So basically, we are dealing directly with brands like, so internationally brands like Primark, Decathlon, Mango, Jockey. So they are nominating our fabric to their garmenters, who in turn buy from us and are supplying to these brands. So that is the business model there. Now, yarn का जो आपने बोला कि so currently we are about 42 to 45% of revenue comes from yarn, and going forward ये 1/3 2/3 हो जाएगा.
Sir, current utilization levels अभी कैसे चल रहे हैं?
Current utilization levels denim और जो हमारा denim fabric और PV fabric है उसमें लगभग about we are running at about 90% levels, and yarn we are running between 80 to 85% levels. So basically capacity utilization is almost at peak levels.
Okay. And sir, currently जैसे आपने बताया कि cotton prices have also stable and from the peak they have halved. So अभी हम क्या inventory carry कर रहे हैं और spreads कैसा है सर हमारा yarn business में?
See, so inventory levels अभी तो हमने थोड़ा build up किया है. So our inventory levels are higher than normal. Sorry. Yeah. So inventory levels are higher than normal, and because we feel that the prices have bottomed out, so there is stocking happening on that front, and yarn spreads are looking at constantly where we are seeing that इसमें कोई improvements दिख रहे हैं. So we will see some gains there. So it's difficult to point out a number because in a moving market ये थोड़ा difficult हो जाता है, especially commodities में. So that we should see that there will be improvement quarter on quarters.
सर Q3 में जैसे numbers हमने post किए हैं, if I look at your PBT number और EBITDA would be better understanding, तो उसमें एक bottoming out process दिख रहा है सर कि आपका Jan-Feb December exit से कैसा रहा in terms of our margins for the yarn business?
See, definitely we can see that December numbers have bottomed out, and we will see that numbers coming in for the subsequent quarters will be better definitely. And इसमें see we are at 8% margin levels at the December number. Now इसमें the biggest deterrent to the margins falling is lower contribution on the yarn spreads, right? So yarn के margins down रहे हैं, and constantly falling prices में stock के losses भी हर quarter लगते रहते हैं, तो उस कारण से pressure रहा है. But because now prices have bottomed out and we see yarn margins improving, तो जो हम आगे का guidance की बात कर रहे हैं कि हम 12-12.5% के ऊपर deliver करना चाहिए, so I think that will that should come in now.
सर कुछ प्रश्न और है, मैं करूं कि should I join the queue?
Yeah, sure, as you wish.
Okay, sir. Sir, firstly, sir, 800 crore capex is what is outlined. You mentioned. So, how much have we spent as of 31st December, or this is the pending capex?
792 is the pending capex.
No, it is a total capex.
792.
700 is the total committed capex. So how much have we spent? See, exact numbers मैं थोड़ा अगर आपको कॉल के बाद शेयर कर लूँ easy रहेगा. But more or less the equity part has been जो कंपनी को internal accrual से लगाना है. So that has already been done. Debt I think जो about 70-75% of capex है. I think we have drawn down about 15 to 20% levels. So balance is pending.
Okay. You mentioned out of the 800 crore, 75% will be debt.
Yes, so 75% is debt because see, there is a promotion, the investment promotion scheme of Rajasthan government जो debt के ऊपर interest subvention अच्छा खासा देता है. So that turns out anywhere between 4 to 5%. So it is highly cost competitive. That इससे cheaper capital कोई और available नहीं है. So that is why we try to take as much debt as possible on the projects.
Okay.
तो जो equity है, अगर कुछ भी हम इसमें excess equity और excess cash generated by the company will we go through because our working capital costs are higher. That's about 7.5 to 8%. So we'll try to reduce those numbers rather than long-term loan numbers.
Okay. And the current अभी net debt numbers क्या है हमारे? What is our working capital requirement and long-term borrowing?
So long-term borrowing as on date stands at about 560 crores. Working capital is anywhere between 450 to 500 के बीच में fluctuation चलता रहता है. We see that this number for working capital is more than enough even to sustain future business. So I don't think we should add much working capital there. Term loan will peak at about 850 crores, I think, is what the peak number will come at. That will be about 5-6 quarters from now.
Okay. And taking that interest subvention into account, what should be the blended cost of fund? और separately अगर आप बताना चाहें?
So term loan cost will be, see, before subsidies it's about 8.5 to 9%. Post subsidies it's below 5. So that is the number for the term loan. Working capital is anywhere between 7.5 to 8%.
Correct, sir. And sir, lastly, what steps are we taking to reduce our power and fuel, the cost of power by investment in the renewable segment? What have been outlined? और सर ये 800 करोड़ के जो कैपेक्स है,
Actually,
बताइए.
agro-based this boiler. Earlier we were running thermal power plant. We scrapped that. Those ones.
Come again, sir.
We already installed 3 numbers of boiler based on the agro waste
Okay.
and green energy. And whatever expansion we are doing now, we are putting all the solar power plant on the top rooftops. So that will also reduce the cost in next couple of quarters. And so the capacity in solar is also going to be increased. As on date, it is 16 megawatt.
Right.
And we have a,
Yes. So to add to that, I'll just say that about 8 to 10% of our costs are renewable as on date. And on the steam that is generated for the dyeing process. So all that is shifted to renewable from the thermal side. So that is already in place today. Solar or adding renewable power is part of a long-term strategy. However, अभी जो capex plans हैं वो काफी heavy हैं company में. So we are the focus is to complete these, deliver the numbers that are supposed to be generated out of these capex, and then probably in future we will take steps to further reduce our renewable costs, so power costs. And also going forward, probably a year back the policies from the government were not as favorable as they are probably today. So that is also one of the reasons to wait it out. And also the costs of installing solar plants are coming down
drastically
day to day. So we are waiting for these things. So probably that's a second step. After these capex are done, तब देखेंगे उसको.
So currently the power and fuel is we are drawing from the grid. The cost of it is the coal grid.
Not from the grid. 10% is self-generated through our solar and wind plants.
Okay, and what is the cost per unit?
Cost per unit from the grid?
Yes.
About 7.5 rupees per unit.
Okay, and sir, how much is the receivable from the road tape part? सरकार का मैंने and total proportion हमारा export कितना है सर? उसके basis पे road tape होगा.
So about 1/3 of our business is coming from exports. And road tape का question आपका with regards to receivable कितना खड़ा है? Is that to ask? Like what is my debtors for receivable?
Yes.
So I think at any point it's about 4 or 5 crores that is pending to be received from the government. बाकी तो so this is a tradable script, ना? So you can sell your licenses to importers.
और ये interest subvention की subsidy अभी कितनी unpaid है?
2%. We have received until what quarter? December? March quarter. So December quarter is clear, right? Yeah. So until December quarter, money is going to be received in the March quarter. Until September, all the money has been received.
अच्छा, लास्ट पॉइंट था ये अदर एक्सपेंसेस का जो लाइन आइटम था, इसमें वी हैव सीन दैट फॉर दिस क्वार्टर देयर इज अ रिडक्शन although your revenue have remained flat. So any cost saving exercise we have done, and this could be a sustainable number. I think so 63 crore is the other expenses. Q1Q we have seen a reduction of 10 crore. Year on year also there is a reduction of 10 crore. So this number is sustainable number now, or what are the key line
So
items?
a couple of things. One, last year, basically, yeah, when we are comparing to last year, the freight costs and exports were very, very high, and then they started coming down drastically, right? So अगर अपन इसको 2 साल पहले से कंपेयर करेंगे तो लास्ट ईयर का नंबर बहुत हाई था, तो उसके सामने अपन इस साल में देख रहे हैं तो थोड़ा लो दिख रहा है, तो मतलब आई वुड से इट इज सस्टेनेबल, बट हाउएवर these costs जो फ्रेट के होते हैं वो that are booked under other costs, other expenses, तो उसको थोड़ा सा and that is a substantial number, almost साल का 100 करोड़ का नंबर हो जाता है ये फ्रेट. So ये एक नंबर है जो फ्लक्चुएट होता है, जो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है. However, these are always passed on to the customer because we are selling on CFR basis. We add the freight and in the cost and sell, so it doesn't impact the profitability that much. So I would not read too much into that number.
ओके, सो तो ये नंबर अब सस्टेनेबल रहेंगे अदर एक्सपेंसेस के 63 इसी अनुपात में रहेंगे, माने 10% ऑफ आवर रेवेन्यू क्लोजर टू दैट.
हाँ, मतलब 1% हियर एंड देयर, बट हाँ रफली यही रहेंगे.
यही रहेंगे. एंड सर, एक रेजोल्यूशन आपने लास्ट एक ईजीएम कॉल किया था जिसमें आपने शायद 11% से 16% पे बैक जो आपका रेन्यूमरेशन पे आउट होता है होल टाइम डायरेक्टर्स का, उसको सर आप एक्सप्लेन करेंगे कि वो एब्सोल्यूट नंबर के हिसाब से या क्या रीजन रहा, क्योंकि सर प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी जब डिप कर रही है अभी आपकी, तो आप क्या मैसेज दे रहे हैं सर इस ये रेजोल्यूशन से सर?
So इसमें मैं क्लैरिफाई करूंगा, there is no incremental payout to directors as on an absolute front. तो जो there is a variable pay and there is a fixed pay that the directors draw. Variable pay directly linked to profits, तो profit ऊपर रहेगा नीचे रहेगा उसके हिसाब से fluctuate होता है. Fixed pay is in line with last year. We had to take this permission because हमारा जो because the overall profits for the year are low, तो वो जो सीलिंग है टोटल रेम्यूनरेशन का वो ब्रेक हो रहा था, इस कारण से उसको करना पड़ा. अदरवाइज जो भी की मैनेजमेंट प्रोफेशनल्स है इन द कंपनी, एंड वहाँ पे कोई भी एक्स्ट्रा हम एब्सोल्यूट पेमेंट पे एक्स्ट्रा कुछ करने के लिए कोई मतलब वो नंबर भर नहीं रहा है.
लास्ट ईयर क्या पे आउट था सर एब्सोल्यूट नंबर में?
Just that, Mr. Saket, sir, we'll take your question in the queue.
Yes, sir, इसका clarification ले लो बस फिर.
So last year का payout, see, because there are about 8 to 10 KMPs, तो exact number देना difficult होगा, but अगर आप ये मतलब maybe after the call I can share in detail with this, मतलब आपको email पे या किस पे share कर लेंगे. I think you can get in touch with our जो email आपको दिया गया उसमें मैं आपको share कर दूँगा.
ठीक है सर, मैं ज्वाइन करता हूँ. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saket Kapoor. The next question is from Mr. Darshil Javeri. So please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, good afternoon. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so firstly for the detailed presentation and detailed answers. So just I wanted to understand our dependence on market prices or market situations. So we aim to have around 12% plus EBITDA, but then I think market forces somehow will impact that. So I just wanted to understand number one, like currently in terms of margins, have we bottomed out, and what would be the trajectory that we can see maybe next year and next to next year? We've given a guidance for FY26, but what about FY25 and Q4 currently? And how much would like our current mix be dependent, that be dependent on market margins? So, can we just get a segmental breakup of margins? How much does yarn contribute as a percentage or something like that? That would be helpful.
Right. So see, thank you for the question. Now to talk about margins, see, the biggest dependence for the margins on the market is on the yarn side, because there it is commodities like cotton or crude are beyond our control. So there is a lot of dependence on that front. However, the long-term strategy for the company, so we were at probably 5 or 6 years ago, we were at 2/3 yarn and 1/3 fabric. So from there, we are talking of 1/3 yarn and 2/3 fabric. So the more you move up in the value chain, your dependence on these factors reduce. Now it cannot be eliminated, but it can be reduced as much as possible. That is point number one. Now segmental margins, we can say, see, a long-term average for a pure yarn company or a pure yarn business is anywhere between 8 to 10%, right? So if we can see last 8 to 10 years average, that is what the number would come down to. And value addition towards fabrics, you can say you add anywhere between another 8 to 10%. So when you say 2/3 and 1/3, the number pure arithmetic will go up to 14-15%. Or so now from our point of view, we say that okay, today the market scenario is not very favorable. It is probably at the bottom end of the cycle. So we are when we are giving a guidance of about 12 to 12.5%, that is keeping some kind of safety measure in place, and we are saying okay, this is the number that can be delivered, and there is some kind of factoring in that the yarn margins have bottomed out. So that there is a consideration that we have taken into that. So basically, this is the I think in totality, some kind of market improvements, changing from our revenue mix from yarn to fabrics, and and increase in overall revenue. So from 2,700, we are talking about 4,000 crores. So that is again going to add to economies of scale. So all these factors together is going to lead to that number.
Okay. Something related to this, my question is, so what would be the current yarn prices and what kind of yarn prices would we need to, hit the 10% margin? And what kind of inventory losses have we had in current year?
So see, this is difficult. To answer to your first question, that what kind of yarn prices are required to hit the 10% margin. See, yarn prices for us is irrelevant. What is important for us is the delta between the cotton prices and polyester prices, and the yarn prices. So there, the one green lining, the one green shoot is that both polyester and cotton prices have bottomed out and probably increased about 2 to 5% from their bottoms. So those prices being low, we feel that it is favorable that now whatever increase in yarn prices happen are going to aid to the margin. So now that is driven by demand. So there is some export demand that has started to pick up. So that is where the fall had happened, that because exports had dipped drastically because of various reasons beyond our control. So now those numbers are picking up again. So we see that will add to some yarn prices going up, and with raw material prices being favorable, we should see that number shall improve. Sorry, your second part of the question, I missed it. Can you repeat that?
Margins.
Yeah, I think I got the major answer. Just like, so what kind of other risk that do you see currently, right? Like that we could face, like that could maybe be a speed bump to our, growth.
I don't think, because
Yes,
as the Indian economy is doing well and exports just picked up,
right.
because of Turkish fiasco and Ukraine and all this will settle down. So things are improving. You see, when after COVID, the pent-up demand came and every company performed 18 months nicely. So the 18 months are going to be complete by June, because we are facing a lot of pressure. So I think there will be a demand, and because India, I would say the cost of the company, whatever expansion we planned, it is going to reduce in all terms, maybe in overheads, maybe in our and what we are consuming our yarn. So we are saving on the packing cost, we are saving on the transportation cost, we are doing a lot of things. So that margin will also,
Add to
the margins in totality. So, and demand is going to be there. I mean, it's not that.
So I think to sum that up, I think we are at the lower end of a cycle. So until there is not a big business risk that we see here on. Now things beyond control, see, there are so many geopolitical developments that happen across